everybody! Today is Lindy's IEP meeting / evaluation. She goes to preschool next year and we get to do it. You want to be in it? And I've never done one here in Colorado. I've done IEP meetings. I've never done an evaluation here. I've done evaluations in New York. Hi. So when we get back, I will tell you all about how it went and how she did. We can't film, of course, but I want to talk about the differences and get that out of your mouth. Ugh, Lindy, she's such a butt. Such a booty butt. Fiery. Sassy pants. Yeah. And I'll let you guys know how it goes. Yeah, I'm hoping it goes well. I have my list of things I want to tell them and what I want put in her IEP. And I hope it goes well. I'm a little nervous, but I'm semi-experienced, so I know what to expect. So, all right, are we ready to go? Okay. Okay guys, so we are in the middle of the evaluation. Right now they're writing up her IEP. She did qualify, which we all knew she would. And we're outside on this cute little playground they have while they're writing it up. You're just so cute. Can you smile? Look at me. Look at you, girl. You're so cute. I can't. So it went really well. A lot to talk about. I really like the people who were doing her evaluation. They seemed very empathetic and understanding. But yeah, she will be doing morning classes. They'll be in different classes than Posey, but it'll be, you know, next door to each other. So they'll have different teachers, but I think that is best. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, okay. I will update you guys when we're done. Well, that was great. It was a good experience. And maybe because I'm just an expert and I know exactly what's gonna happen, that nothing shocked me. Yeah, so I'm gonna get home and then I'm gonna tell you everything that happened, go over all the paperwork and everything and tell you how it went. I don't know, I feel hope, and that's weird for this stuff. So yeah, let me get home, guys. All right, I am home. Kids are downstairs. I just wanna get right into it. I do wanna do a quick little debriefing if you are new, because some people could find this video. I'm a mom, Emily. I have 6 children. 3 of my children are in now special education. This is my, I don't even know, number of IEP meetings that I have done. This is the first one that I have done in Colorado with the evaluation. I've done IEP meetings for sure in Colorado, but never done the evaluation. So let's start and how the whole procedure went. So when you first get there, you're met by somebody who's gonna let you into the building, or you're in the building, and they first hand you this parent and child rights in special education. Now, this is your rights as a parent. This has everything you need to know about the laws and what your children's rights are. You know, what the IEP is all about and what the school, I think, has to, you know, give your child if they qualify for special education. And so this is a whole little booklet. I do recommend going through it, but you won't be able to go through it there. So it's always really confusing to me that they don't send these booklets to you before, because if you're a brand new parent in the situation, you're not gonna know what this is. You have no idea. I remember, what do you mean rights? Like, I was so naive. I was like, it's just an IEP meeting. It's just about education. I didn't know anything. I wish these would be sent to the parents at home like a month or 2 or a couple weeks before, just so maybe you can glance before the meeting. But yeah, this is what they're gonna give you right away. This is the law. They have to give it to you. It's very important. They will check this off on the, I think, the IEP meeting, or whenever you will have to sign a paper saying you received this. So just letting you know on that. So let's talk about the evaluation. So there were 1, 2, 3 people evaluating Lindy, mainly 2 people, because hers was just speech and like mainly, and then a preschool teacher was there for the district, and then there were 2 other people actually that were doing paperwork and stuff behind, but they were in the room evaluating the whole thing as well. But only those 2 women worked with Lindy. So they first just did play-based assessment, where they played with fire trucks and baby dolls, and they played with building things and taking things down. They went with what was one? They did one where you had to like because she can't talk, but she would be like, okay, there'd be 4 pictures. Which picture is the child crying? Which is the child eating and eating? Which is the child sleeping? And there'd be a bunch of different pages she'd be flipping. Which is the one, is the boy wearing the shoes, or is the girl wearing the shoes? And Lindy would point, because she can't talk. They had her stack blocks. They had her play pretend baby doll with like putting the blanket on, the baby's cold, putting things under or behind her. They'd say, okay, can you put something behind you? You put the baby behind you, put the baby behind her. Can you put the baby under the table? She put the baby under the table. So because Lindy has, you know, she can't speak really, and she's not really fluent with her device, it was hard for them to do the full evaluation like they would do with, you know, a child that has more skills, you know. And so they couldn't score any of the verbal skills at all. Like they didn't even score it because she doesn't have really any, and they didn't want to score it. They just, because you could tell. So a lot of things were just pointing, gesturing, and they were really just testing her cognitive skills. They wanted to see how much she comprehends, how much she's absorbing, how much she's remembering, and yeah, so she did really, really good in that sense. Like her cognitive skills are completely where they need to be. I guess she scored 100 in the cognitive evaluation. That's what the lady showed me, which is fantastic. I mean, she's right as a normal 3.5-year-old, where she's thinking and absorbing and learning things. So that is fantastic news. I mean, I'd love to hear that. I mean, I know I've been told by so many people that she's cognitively there, but it's so nice to get an evaluation done and someone say, yeah, she is a-okay, she is understanding, she's getting it, she just can't talk. This was something that was very new for Colorado, not been from New York. The difference was they did a eye test for Lindy when she first came in. It's this machine that they point at their face and they're looking for any abnormalities, and her eyes came back normal, which is great. But I never had that done before, and I thought that was really interesting. So that was pretty cool. So her eyes look healthy. That makes me feel so good. But that was something that they didn't do in New York. So that was a different thing. So when they finished the assessment, because they couldn't do the whole thing, but it was okay, they couldn't do the whole thing because of her apraxia. I mean, they could see it. They said, yes, she's got apraxia. It's plain and simple and clear. She's got apraxia, and she was going to be getting an IEP, and that's fantastic. You know, I wasn't concerned she wasn't gonna get one, but you just never know. Like I try not to get surprised by things, but in this situation, like yeah, she's getting an IEP. She can't speak, but I always just try to be cautious, because I have been told with Sawyer before, you know, we're gonna wait, maybe he'll be okay. No. So it's just what's happened in my past that I just do that. I'm always cautious. But yeah, so they said she's definitely qualifying for services, and they start writing up the IEP while we're there. Lindy is playing in the little play area where they start this whole process. And then they asked me, you know, her strengths. You know, I said that she plays really well, she has great imagination, she is strong, she's a fighter, she doesn't give up easily, and they thought that was great. And then you know, I started speaking up, and this is where I feel like parents might shut down when they go do the paperwork, but this is where you need to start advocating, because they're not going to do it unless you say it. Because like I kind of was waiting a little bit to see what they were going to say about certain things. Like the lady was great, the ladies were great, but they didn't add the things that needed to be added for Lindy to have the most success. And so that's why you have to advocate for your child, because these teachers, therapists are doing their job, but it's not their 100% job to know exactly what your child needs. You're the one that is seeing your kid, and you're the one that knows what your kid needs. So the first thing I said, you know, we need to make sure that device with her at all times. That needs to be in the IEP. Second, I want some kind of communication base set up with the teacher. I said I wanted something like every 6 weeks we get a phone call. I want to know my day, where I get like a written note or an email every day on what she's doing in class. Now, this is where it got a little, I don't want to say prickly, but she said, you can't be that specific in an IEP, which I know you can be, but because we're just setting this up and you don't know the teacher, you don't want to come at it where you're putting in exactly verbatim what you need, because the teacher, one, could be really upset about it, and there could be a whole issue. There could be, you know, if she doesn't follow it, then we gotta do all the crazy stuff where we have to do emergency IEP meetings. So she said, wait till you talk to the teacher and then set it up, and then we can do an addendum to the IEP. We can add it after you talk to the teacher. And I was like, fantastic. So it is in the IEP that we are setting up communication based, how the teacher communicates with me and my husband, but it's not specific. But when it does get specific, I will be putting in an addendum to the IEP, and it will be submitted, so it will be in there. And that's a super easy process. I asked about that because I've never heard of that before, but I did ask about it because I was like, what? It's just, I have to agree on it, the teacher has to agree on it, and her speech teacher has to agree on it, and then they can just addendum it and then submit it to whomever, the district, and that's that. Doesn't have to be a big meeting with the whole thing, the whole whoop-de-doo. So that was, I thought, really cool. It made me, I don't know, the meetings are so crazy, so a lot. Like when you have a big emergency IEP meeting or any kind of IEP meeting, everybody's there. To have a way to change an IEP without all of that hassle sounds so great. One of the last things I asked for them to put in her IEP was to be evaluated for summer school at the end of the year. In Colorado, special education summer school isn't common unless you fight for it, unless it's in their IEP. And I found that with the boys that I didn't do that, and then it was a huge whoop-de-doo to get them in summer school. And next year I think it'll be huge because we have not put it in their IEPs for them to get evaluated for summer school. So I really wanted to start Lindy off on the right foot to have that in there. So the first answer was, no, we can't do that. And I was like, why? Because their answer was that because she hasn't been in the school system, so how can they evaluate her? And I'm like, okay, but she will be in the school system next summer. And then they went, yeah, but, and then they said preschool doesn't have summer school. I said, okay, but I just want this in there for the future. This is her IEP, it's going with her the rest of her life, and I know things can change, but I want this in there. Like, this needs to start off on the right foot. I've learned the hard way, and I don't want this to happen again. So we did compromise, and instead of her checking the boxes that say she can be evaluated for summer school, because this is what they kept saying to me, because she's not in school, they can't check those boxes. So I was like, okay. So I asked them to put it in the parent information section to request that she gets evaluated for summer school when she's in kindergarten or whenever she's able to be qualified for it. And this is how this works for special ed. I'm just going to break this down a little bit if you don't understand what I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to make this all clear, but it's sometimes so hard. So the summer school special education program they have is, if your child will lose their skills over summer, then your child can qualify for summer school. So if they're not meeting their IEP goals, or if they're not even close, or if they've seen records of like over summer, winter break, or Christmas break or Thanksgiving break, and they come back and that they have regressed, and then they have to work harder to get back there. So that's something the school will look at with your child to see if that's happening. And then if that is, typically then you should get summer school options. I don't know. I don't know. We got summer school this year for my twins because of what they did at the other school, and he got a concussion and we had to get a lawyer and they weren't following the IEP at all, and then they knew we had a case against them, so that's why they got in this year. But next year, because it's not in their IEP, I think it's gonna be, fist fight, like blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So we got that in there. And those are the main things that I really wanted. I did write a little list before I left to make sure I didn't forget. That's definitely a big tip. If you're going to an IEP meeting, write the notes out before so you do not forget, because in the middle of an IEP meeting, like even now for me who's done this so many times, it is so emotional. Like all I'm thinking is I don't want to do this anymore. I'm really sad. This shouldn't be happening. I don't want to see her suffer. You know, this is not great, you know? But that was like a short-lived moment. And then, you know, I popped out of it. But those are some of the thoughts. But for the first time IEP, second, third, fourth, whatever, they're emotional. When you're hearing the struggles from somebody, a teacher, therapist, it's like a blow, man. Because like, I don't know, you live in denial a little bit, and then when someone actually says the words out loud, you're like, oh, like that stinks. It really stinks. I would say with this IEP compared to like Griffin or Sawyer's, well, Sawyer's maybe a little, can compare a little bit. There was, you know, sheer cognitive level is great. And so they're hopeful that she's going to flourish. Yeah, she might not speak well, but she is going to understand what's going on, unless there's some other underlying disability that we don't know about yet. But right now it seems it's just apraxia. So we went over the IEP, and then we had to do signatures, and I got a copy of it all, and we got to pick out her classroom, her class teacher. And so she will not be in Posey's class, and they asked me about it. We had a huge conversation about it. And I feel what I was afraid of is that Posey's gonna try to take care of Lindy and maybe miss out on school, or not miss out entirely, but maybe be worried about her, trying to take care of her. And so right now I really want to try. They're gonna be separated in 2 different classrooms, same time, but they're not gonna be together. And I think that's gonna be okay. I don't want Posey to worry about her, and I don't want us to be, Posey, what happened? How was Lindy today? Tell me what's going on. Did Lindy do anything? Did she cry? Blah, blah, blah. Is she happy? I don't want that, because I know I don't want that. So we've decided that they're going to be in 2 different classrooms, and so that's great. And they're set up for preschool, and I'm so excited for them. So excited for her. This is such good it's good direction for her. She is just gonna do so well, and I'm so happy that we're doing this. So I will say that the speech teacher therapist told me about apraxia a little bit more. Numbers that I didn't know about, but that were just surprising a little bit of, she said, you know, 30% of children with apraxia of speech outgrow it, which I didn't know about. And then she said, I forgot the percentage, but another percentage will have some difficulty with speak, but will do pretty well with communicating. And then there's the other percentage that will never speak. And so it was just like, it's hard. Like, it's hard to hear those words. It's hard to even think of it. Like, you don't know where your child's gonna end on the spectrum. And you're just like, it's just so emotional. So emotional. So to end this video, because it's a very long video, I will say, so tips, write out the questions you want to ask before you walk in that door. Try to find this paperwork if you're going online. The parent child rights in special education. Do that before if you can find it. I know they probably have it online if you are brand new to this world. If it doesn't sound right, say something. Your child deserves everything a typical child gets. Remember that. And know that you know your child the best because you're with them the most. And if you think your child may need something, say something. You could say, like I even said today, knowing that nothing was probably going to come of it, but I did say, you know, she's apraxia. I know that there's a couple studies that I found online that she could be higher risk for being dyslexic. I'm dyslexic. I just want that out there. Is there anything else we can put that in place? If there's any testing we should be thinking about, just to have the teachers know about it, because I just want her, again, to be getting the right resources if she ends up being dyslexic. I don't know if she's going to be or not. And they, you know, they pretty much said what I thought they were gonna say. She's too young. But again, I'm putting that out there, and it maybe is something I didn't know that they knew that they could add to it. So again, just spew information out of these people. They're experts. And all you have to do is just keep advocating. Say, my kid needs a 1-to-1 aid. He needs an apara, or you know, my kid's gonna need help with, maybe he's got fine motor skill problems. He's gonna need help with opening, closing things. They gotta put that in there. There's a bunch of things that you can put in an IEP. So remember that. Just so information, just throw at these people. They're gonna handle it well. I promise, I promise. So yeah, I think that is it. Sorry for the long video. I hope I did it right, and I hope that you're not mad. But yeah, that is it. I know you're not mad, but I hope it made sense. It's a lot. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time. Don't forget, guys, you are wonderful. Bye.